Welcome to day 189 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Trastenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And we're kind of waiting. We know that something's dropping soon. We know that the developer fund, some sort of developer funding program is going to be dropping. We don't know exactly when. It could be this week or it could be the beginning of next week. We're not really sure, but we know it's coming.
Yeah, I would guess it's going to be pushed out to next week because I doubt they're going to drop something this close to the end of the week. But who knows? We don't really know for sure. But I think any fund that's going to help developers, creators, or NFT artists, I think that's going to be huge in that it's going to attract a lot of new users. And most importantly, developers. We could get some top tier developers here, not that we don't already have some.
Yeah, and in other news, the price of DeSo hit $161 yesterday. Seems like every day we're hitting another high. And by high, I don't mean new all-time high, but a new high since we saw the bottom drop out of it a couple months ago. And I mean, that's good news. And, it's kind of leading up to more news that's coming out as far as the Coinbase listing and the developer funding and, the new front end and referral program. So I think we're on track for something good here. As far as how high the price of DeSo goes, we can't really say. Nobody really knows. Maybe we'll see a pullback. Maybe we'll see it keep going. It's just like one of those guessing games right now. But we also saw another listing. So DeSo got listed on another exchange. This time it's hotbot.io, which is fairly popular.
Hotbot. Is it Hotbit?
Hotbit. I'm sorry, you told me Hotbot. That's your fault.
It's hotbit.io. It's not a huge exchange, but it's definitely another one that can get some more eyeballs here. And they do have like 300,000 followers on Twitter, so it's definitely one that's known within the crypto space. And I think it's just one more positive domino to fall as we lead up to Coinbase, an eventual Coinbase listing. And I think a lot of these buys we're seeing, we saw a ton of buys on BitClout.com yesterday through Gringot. It was like every few minutes, it seemed like I saw another big buy, and it probably wasn't every few minutes, but we saw a lot of buying on BitClout.com, and we need to see this kind of spread to the exchanges, especially when Coinbase comes. So I think this is a positive sign that we're getting another exchange, and I think we're going to see many more in the probably next month or two.
Yeah, and like you said, I think once it's on Coinbase, I think we'll see it come to other exchanges as well. Additionally, node monetization. So Tyne, I believe it was late last night, made a post about node monetization. And on GitHub, it appears that there's something that's going to be released to allow nodes to monetize themselves better through transaction fees and whatnot. I don't know all the details. I'm not technical enough to read into it, but Tyne has been posting some information about this. So, they need to provide some incentive for nodes to run the DeSo blockchain. Without that, you don't have it, the decentralization doesn't take effect. So, the more incentivization they can put for node operators, the better in the long run. And I'm sure they'll add stuff as time goes on.
Yeah, I think in the early stages, a lot of developers are a little bit hesitant to start running their own node because that's a lot of costs. They had to pay for the server, they had to pay for upkeep, they had to constantly be syncing it. So I think that the ability to monetize it on the blockchain level is going to be an added incentive for developers to come on board. And if they do roll out some kind of developer fund in the next week or so, I think that's going to be huge. So you're going to have kind of a double whammy for developers. And I think as the protocol grows and as users come on board, it's going to be easier for node operators to monetize. I mean, an NFT node could sell top ads for NFTs. You list them at the top. It's whether they want to jump into the ad space or not, but there's plenty of opportunity once things kind of develop further.
For sure. And I think the final point that we're going to talk about today, or final little tidbit of news, is that Fast Freddy and Bits Today are holding a DeSo coin competition. They want you to design a DeSo coin. So like there's Bitcoin coins out there, and there's coins created for various cryptocurrencies. They're not actually the actual coin with any value, but it's basically a token. It's a graphic to kind of represent the cryptocurrency. And like I said, Fast Freddy and Bits Today have teamed on this competition to find an artist to create the best DeSo coin, and they're allowing people to submit their artwork for the coin. You just have to use the hashtag DeSo coin contest, hashtag DeSo coin contest, and the competition is going to be closing Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time.
And the winning prize is 15 DeSo, which is about $2,250 or so if DeSo's at $150. So I mean, it's a definitely a nice prize. You can do a lot with 15 DeSo. I think it's a great incentive. They've had a few people submit, but they extended it because I think that the announcement happened basically that same night that Natter had the town hall. And I think it got a little bit pushed under the rug because there's so much excitement about Natter. So they're extending it, and I think it's a good move. And I look forward to seeing a lot of new coins being submitted. We're actually one of the judges, I think, right, Ed?
I believe so.
And we're looking forward to it. I think that having a DeSo coin is going to be pretty cool. I wonder if anybody's going to actually mint these coins so you can kind of give
Yeah.
people actual DeSo coins.
Yes. So now I kind of forget what I was going to say. Oh, so if you want to participate, and if you're an artist, even if you're not an artist, you want to create design and submit it, you can learn more about this competition, this contest, if you go to Fast Freddy's BitClout profile. You can also, if you look at our profile, we recently reclouded it. It's probably our post that's right under this video post. So check it out, and the more entries into this contest, the better chance we have of finding a really cool and unique DeSo coin.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of great artists out there, so I look forward to seeing what they present. And I think as we move forward, I think there's a lot of excitement ahead. Like we said, the coin has more than doubled. It's almost tripled since the bottom we saw around $55. Almost exactly has tripled since then. But I think it's important not to get ahead of ourselves. We're not selling any DeSo, but if people want to sell DeSo, they can sell DeSo. It is high right now, but at the same time,
like there's people who actually bought DeSo at $60, $70, $80, $90, and they've made a lot of profit. So you have to expect profit taking. You have to expect people are going to be selling it, and we don't know when we're going to reach that point where the amount of people selling is going to outweigh the amount of people buying. We're going to hit that point at some time. Whether it's 160, maybe we hit it. Maybe it's 170, 180. Maybe it's 500. Maybe it's 1,000. We don't know.
Yeah, and if you don't have that long-term vision where you're like, okay, in 5 years this is going to be the biggest thing on the planet in social, then it is tempting to sell a little bit, especially if you got in at 50. I mean, who's not going to want to make some money tripling their money? So you can't give people flack for that. And I think it's always okay to take some money off the table. We're not doing it because we don't really feel the need to, but if you did invest a lot of money and you want to take some off so you feel more comfortable so you can hold longer, that's what we did with Bitcoin. I mean, we got into Bitcoin when it was about $300 or $400 in like 2013 or something like that. And along the way, after all those spikes, we'd sell a little bit. So we'd feel confident in holding the rest. And that gave us the confidence, and we're still holding a bunch of that chunk that we got 8 or 9 years ago. So I think it's okay to sell a little bit if you feel the need to. And
yeah, everybody has different ideas of what to do with it. But I think that's a good place to leave off, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on day 190 of our DeSo journey. Can you believe it? We're up to 190 days. It's crazy. All right, talk to you tomorrow.